Supreme Being shining in our hearts and pray for the welfare of the whole humanity. Om Hridaya Kamala Madhye Rajitan Nirvikalpam Sada Sada Kila Bhedatitameka Swarupam Hridaya Kamala Madhye Rajitan Nirvikalpam Sada Sada Kila Bhedatitameka Swarupam Prakriti Vikriti Shonya Nityamananda Murtim Vimala Paramahamsam Ramakrishnam Bhajami Nirupamamati Sukshma Nishprapanchanniriham Gagana Sadrishamesham Sarvabhuta Vivasam Nirupamamati Sukshma Nishprapanchanniriham Gagana Sadrishamesham Sarvabhuta Vivasam Trigunarahita Satchit Brahmarupam Varenyam Vimala Paramahamsam Ramakrishnam Bhajami Vitaritumavatirnam Jnana Bhakti Prashanti Pranaya Galita Chetan Jiva Dukha Sahishnam Vitaritumavatirnam Jnana Bhakti Prashanti Pranaya Galita Chetan Jiva Dukha Sahishnam Dhrita Sahaja Samadhim Chinmayam Komalangam Vimala Paramahamsam Ramakrishnam Bhajami Vimala Paramahamsam Ramakrishnam Bhajami. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the personification of purity, the Supreme Being, who is called as Parabrahman according to Vedanta, who is called as Paramatman according to the Tantra Shastras. He is called the Creator, the Preserver and Destroyer, who is the Master of all the power on this universe, who is the controller of the power, who is beyond the realm of nature. He is in and out of the whole universe. He is immanent as well as transcendent. He is present everywhere. He manifests himself in the heart of everyone. It is for us to experience the vision of God in our own heart by leading spiritual life, by diverting the mind from the world to the spiritual. Sri Ramakrishna who was completely moved by the sufferings of the people, came on this earth to show the right path so that people can be freed from all miseries in the world. They can have perpetual joy. Sri Ramakrishna came to show the ways. He has come to bestow knowledge, devotion, and peace on mankind. He has shown by his own life how one could reach the highest transcendental state. How this human body is a medium through which one can rise to that highest level of consciousness. He has come, lived the life of spirituality, lived in this world, but then reached the highest goal in human life, namely to have the experience of the realization of God. He became immortal. He showed to the people by his own life and teachings how that state could be reached. Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna is his immortal teachings. Those who follow these, I am sure, would be free from all types of doubts that cloud the mind. And Sri Ramakrishna himself would directly lead every one of us who follows his instructions. Sri Ramakrishna becomes direct guide. There is no second person is required. Sri Ramakrishna himself takes the full responsibility of the person who follows his instructions. The direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna have assured that those who come to Sri Ramakrishna need not have to fear for anything. Sri Ramakrishna will provide all that is necessary, and he will save each soul from degradation, from downfall. Sri Ramakrishna has come to lift us all up, to take us all into that highest region, to make us all experience that divine bliss. Sri Ramakrishna has come to show that religion is to be practiced intensely with all earnestness. People sometimes are confused about taking up this spiritual path. Immediately the question comes to them, what is it? How is it possible for us, we living in this world, morning to night we have to work hard. We have got so many duties to perform. How is it possible for us to contemplate on the divine? Is it ever possible? Sri Ramakrishna clarifies this point. Who is free from work? No one is free from work. Mental activity is also work. People who meditate on Brahman, they are also acting in a way. Breathing is also an activity. Even chanting the name of God and singing the hymns on Him are all considered as activity. So, there is no way of renouncing work altogether. But then, what Sri Ramakrishna wants us to understand is that change your attitude. Don't do the work for the sake of selfishness. Don't have that attitude. Do your work, but surrender the result to God. One should feel happy if one does the duty for duty's sake. Then nothing bothers him. Duty should not be understood to mean a kind of deep attachment to the work. I am doing the work just for the love of the work. It's my responsibility to look after certain things, I will look after them. That's all. So with that attitude, one should carry on his activities in the world. If we don't change the attitude, then there is always danger of not turning towards God at all. On the other hand, heading downwards with terrific speed towards one's own destruction, towards getting unhappiness, sorrow and misery. Indescribable. The more and more he involves in the activities of the world, without giving some time to think about God or to repeat the divine name, then they cannot escape suffering. The more the people are involved, the more the sufferings they have to undergo in life. Suffering is hell. That's all. Suffering is called hell. So Sri Ramakrishna warns, you must always try to remember God. Always try to remember God. That's the important point Sri Ramakrishna mentions in his talks. Somebody asked about earning money. Should a person make effort to earn more money? What's to be done? Sri Ramakrishna answers, it's all right to earn money, to maintain one's family. Perfectly all right. But earning of money should be in an honest way. If you adopt dubious methods of earning money, then instead of getting happiness, you will get more misery. And you won't get peace of mind. And you will be far away from God. So, you must be very careful about the means of earning money. People, what we generally see in the world, they are compelled by their desires to earn more and more money by whatever means to satisfy those desires. Anyayena artha sanchayan, Sri Krishna says in the Gita. Anyayena artha sanchayan. By improper means they earn money. Then again Sri Ramakrishna tells, money is not harmful if it is devoted to the service of God. That's it. Finally, your mind must come to God. That we should not forget. But what we find generally in the world is that we are more towards the world than towards God. We talk about duties to the world, but we forget about our duty to God. Anything relating God is terrible for us. Anything regarding the world is all right for us. Even if we have got 100 works, one more duty, all right, 100 plus 1, doesn't matter. But if you have one item regarding God, please get up morning and do some prayers. Oh, it bothers me. Finished. It doesn't bother him to do 101 work, but it bothers him to offer prayer even for a few minutes in the morning. That only shows how we have become terribly weak. Weak to the extent we are not able to assert. We have become so terribly devoid of strength. We have become so much nervous. And sometimes we feel it is unbearable because the downward pull is so great. People do not understand it. That's why Sri Ramakrishna, at every point, he warns and corrects. It's all right. We do mistakes. Perfectly all right. But don't repeat the mistake. That's the point we should remember. Committing the mistake is all right. Repeating the mistake is not all right. Once you know it's a mistake, don't repeat it. That is the way how to get training oneself. Sri Ramakrishna explains how many types of persons are there in the field. Those who are struggling to have the experience of God. While explaining, Sri Ramakrishna tells there are 4 types of groups. One is called pravartak. That is, he has just set foot on the spiritual path. He has just started coming to the chapel. Hitherto he was contented with going to library or bookstore. One fine day he thought, why not I go to chapel? That's the beginning. Then one day he thinks, why not I go to evening service? I am going to some club. I am talking with this man, that man. Let me talk to God. So that is that kind of thinking which prompts you to take up the spiritual path. That person is considered as pravartak. Just he has started. The second one is sadhaka. He is little advanced than the pravartak. Sadhaka is one who willingly takes up spiritual disciplines such as worship, japa, meditation, etc. He doesn't try to give reasons for his spiritual practices. He just wants them to be done. He is at it and he will do it. That's also a part of his work, he considers that way. And he gives first priority to the spiritual disciplines. What is the meaning of first priority? As soon as you get up, what you do, that is the first priority. As soon as you get up, if you go and see TV, that means TV occupies your mind first. As soon as you get up, your mind is engaged in some other secular activities. That means suppose some game, some world basketball game or some such games, immediately the mind goes there. Even if it is midnight, he is prepared to get up and see the TV. Like that, the priority. So here, a sadhaka gives priority to the spiritual disciplines. It is very valuable. He can't afford to waste the time. Even the little things he would be able to do will be lost if he is not careful about his disciplines. Unless one undergoes disciplines properly in the life, one cannot have the vision of God. Simply we will be talking, we will be dreaming, that's all. You cannot have experience. Once you have the experience, you will become peaceful and contented. So why not we try to reach that goal, trying all methods to the best of our capacity. The third one is siddha. That is, he is little further up than the sadhaka state. He not only practices disciplines, but he is deeply interested in the spiritual progress, and he keeps on meditating on the divine supreme being, and he has known from his inner experience that God exists. At certain point, he might not have the clear knowledge of God, but yet he gets the glimpse of some divine power. Yes, it is so amazing. There is some power. I am able to comprehend it, experience it in my life. So this getting glimpse of the power of God, to know that God exists, there is no doubt about it, that state is called Siddha. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of the master of the house. He is sleeping on a cot. It is dark. Someone comes to the home in search of the master. He is sleeping. There is no light anywhere. So he goes on searching. He touches the window. Oh, not this. He touches some other objects. Say every time he touches and feels, oh, not this, not this is not the one. This is not the one. Finally, he touches the body of the master. Immediately he recognizes, yeah, here it is. He is the master. So this is the process which is described in the Vedanta as neti neti, na iti, not this, not this. Finally, he arrives at the absolute truth. In other words, he is now conscious of the existence of the master. He has found him out, but he does not yet know him very closely. That is the state of Siddha. The last one, the last classification which Sri Ramakrishna makes, Siddha of Siddha. That is, the supremely perfect ones. The Siddha of Siddha, he knows God perfectly and very intimately. It is quite a different thing when one talks to the master intimately, when one knows God very intimately through love and devotion. So like this, there are many categories of devotees trying to get the vision of God. So far we have read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Today we will continue. Page 115. The chapter is Advice to Householders. In order to realize God, one must assume one of these attitudes: Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya or Madhur. Shanta, the serene attitude. The rishis of olden times had this attitude towards God. They didn't desire any worldly enjoyment. It is like the single-minded devotion of a wife to her husband. She knows that her husband is the embodiment of beauty and love, a veritable madan. Dasya, the attitude of a servant toward his master. Hanuman had this attitude toward Rama. He felt the strength of a lion when he worked for Rama. A wife feels this mood also. She serves her husband with all her heart and soul. A mother also has a little of this attitude, as Yashoda had toward Krishna. Sakhya, the attitude of friendship. Friends say one to another, "Come here and sit near me." Sri Dama and other friends sometimes fed Krishna with fruit, part of which they had already eaten, and sometimes climbed on his shoulders. Vatsalya, the attitude of a mother toward her child. Madhur, the attitude of a woman toward her paramour. Radha had this attitude toward Krishna. The wife also feels it for her husband. This attitude includes all the other four. Master Masha asked, when one sees God, does one see him with these eyes? Master replied, God cannot be seen with these physical eyes. In the course of spiritual discipline, one gets a love body endowed with love eyes, love ears, and so on. One sees God with those love eyes. One hears the voice of God with those love ears. One even gets a sexual organ made of love. At these words, Yam burst out laughing. The master continued, unannoyed. With this love body, the soul communes with God. Master Maharshi again became serious. Sri Ramakrishna said, but this is not possible without intense love of God. One sees nothing but God everywhere when one loves Him with great intensity. It is like a person with jaundice who sees everything yellow. Then one feels, I am verily He. A drunkard, deeply intoxicated, says, verily I am Kali. The gopis, intoxicated with love, exclaimed, verily I am Krishna. One who thinks of God day and night beholds Him everywhere. It is like a man seeing flames on all sides after he has gazed fixedly at one flame for some time. But that is not the real flame flashed through M's mind. Sri Ramakrishna, who could read a man's inmost thought, said, one doesn't lose consciousness by thinking of Him who is all spirit, all consciousness. Shivanath once remarked that too much thinking about God confounds the brain. Thereupon I said to him, how can one become unconscious by thinking of consciousness? Master Maharshi said, yes sir, I realize that. It is not like thinking of an unreal object. How can a man lose his intelligence if he always fixes his mind on Him, whose very nature is eternal intelligence? Master, with pleasure, said, it is through God's grace that you understand that the doubts of the mind will not disappear without His grace. Doubts do not disappear without self-realization. But one need not fear anything if one has received the grace of God. It is rather easy for a child to stumble if he holds his father's hand, but there can be no such fear if the father holds the child's hand. A man doesn't have to suffer any more if God in His grace removes his doubts and reveals Himself to him. But this grace depends upon him only after he has prayed to God with intense yearning of heart and practiced spiritual discipline. The mother feels compassion for her child when she sees him running about breathlessly. She has been hiding herself. Now she appears before the child. Let us stop here. Now the point is this. See, for calling on God, you can call on Him any time. It doesn't mean that you should not repeat God or offer prayers when you are in pain or when you are in suffering or when you are in something like that. It's not like that. In fact, under those circumstances, you should pray God more closely, with more appealing. Look, God, I am suffering so much. I have done problem I have done. I don't know what crimes I have committed, but I am suffering now. There is nobody to protect me, to give solace to my mind. It is only You who is the Father of all the beings. It is You only who can give soothing effect. You are the father and mother. You should look after me. You should come to my guidance. You should come to my rescue. So there is a way of praying to the Lord. There is a way of praying to the Lord. If you surrender yourself to the Lord, if you feel you are helpless sincerely, and in that helpless attitude, if you pray to God, God responds to that. And He will show the guidance, and He will immediately soothe your nerves, and He will take all steps necessary, and you will feel in course of time how grace is flowing through God. It takes quite a long time, and the experience also varies from person to person. See, he was talking about dynamite, spiritual dynamite. The same dynamite principle is also true with respect to world. How many people are being terribly lost because of their going too much into the worldly things. To such an extent they have lost everything. They don't have respect for any values in life. They don't want to care any values. They just want what they want. If the world satisfies their personal desires, world is good for them. If it is not satisfying them, then they will try to abuse the world. So this is the way how they live their life. By that way, they are bringing their own destruction. So what Sri Ramakrishna is telling is that it is sooner the better you know that you have to correct your direction. You may be living in this world, you may be carrying on your activities, still you should not forget repeating divine name or offering your prayers to God. Every day keep on doing that. The more and more you keep on praying to God, necessitates that you should have some kind of control over your senses, over your ways of doing the things. You must have to follow some ethical and moral values. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to maintain purity in the life. Unless you maintain purity, you can't have any kind of inspiration in your mind. All day you may be sitting and repeating the divine name, but if the mind runs riot, if afterwards, if you are not following any kind of control over your sensuous activities, then in what way you will get inspiration? In fact, the pulse of the desires are so strong, this spiritual inclination is made so weak. So we must take all steps to make our spiritual inclination more strong enough to not to succumb to the destructive desires which are causing peacelessness to us. So, prayer, meditation, all these things must be followed up. Though in a small measure in the beginning, it must be done by everybody. Slowly, they will get the momentum. If you keep on doing that, you will get momentum. It becomes habit. Suppose one day you don't do it, you feel bad. Oh, today I didn't offer my prayer, I should have done it. You feel that way. That is how we should build up we should cultivate our spiritual personality. That means you take one divine idea, you think deeply over that idea. Whatever you think deeply, that becomes meditation. And if you become more and more deep, even though the other thoughts might come up, you aren't bothered about them. You don't give any importance to those thoughts. They come and go. That is how meditation is to be practiced. Meditation can never be dangerous. On the other hand, it always helps the being. It always protects the man from falling down. All the negative entities or whatever you may call, they come and show their ugly heads, true, because you are trying to control them, you are trying to check them, they come and show their ugly face. Hitherto you were not having that attitude, so they would come, they had free access, they would come and dance upon you and they would do all sorts of things. So you thought you were all right. But now you are really thinking to know who you are. And just because you are trying to know yourself truly, those things are becoming prominent, and though now you are recognizing how they are bringing obstruction to my ways of thinking. So that only shows that you must become more strong to resist those opposite forces that might come up in the mind during your meditation. One way is to engage the mind in prayers and doing service to God and having some positive engagements. That is the way, one of the ways to counteract the negative effect of the bad forces. What is negative, after all? What is negative forces? What all the desires that come on the way of your spiritual path are all negative forces. Let it be anything. You are thinking and sitting, just thinking about the Divine Lord. Immediately the thought comes to your mind. Why not I go to a restaurant and have some nice, sumptuous feast today? Is Tuesday. They have got special menu. That thought comes to you. And somehow you finish meditation and go there. So because you cut this meditation short and you went there, that itself is negative. Maybe that you may be satisfied with the desire of eating that menu, it's all right. But that desire was responsible for taking you away from your spiritual path. This is only example I am giving. So anything that comes on your way is to be counteracted according to your capacity. You have to find out the ways and methods. There are various methods are there, various means are there. There is no fixed common method. But if you look into all types of methods, then you can adopt in your own way what is best suitable to you, and you can counteract them. So praying to God and thinking about Him can never be danger. Can never be danger. Please note it. On the other hand, it helps you. It helps you to resist the evil forces. Though in the beginning that power is very feeble, slowly it gains strength and you will be able to achieve results in course of time. Sri Ramakrishna has explained the whole thing as divine play. There is no answer for why. It is there, that's all. The point we are here, we have to reach the goal. Why we are here, why the ignorance was there, that nobody can answer. But Sri Ramakrishna has given one answer to all these things. He said, divine play. The whole creation is nothing but a divine play. We are all, each one of us is playing one's own part. That's all. But then even different stages of spiritual aspirants which Sri Ramakrishna himself had explained, Pravartaka, Sadhaka, Siddha and Siddha, like that, 4 categories. That only shows how there are so many stages in spiritual life. It's true. That only means don't be satisfied just you got something by just repeating the divine name for some 1,000 times, or by just by living about spiritual life for about 5 years, you got some kind of inner peace, and you feel as if you have realized God. In fact, some people immediately they go to the world and declare, I have known God, I have become God, like that. Probably they might have seen God in some dream or whatever it is. Immediately that prompts them to utter those things. But what Sri Ramakrishna tells, don't stop at that. Don't be satisfied till you go to the fine supreme goal. Till then, keep on continuing your practices. And that is what Sri Ramakrishna meant when he said different categories of people are there. So, certain times some people says, I want to remain a devotee. I want to serve God. So if that is the desire of the devotee, then God grants him, all right. If you want to remain as a devotee, all right, do remain. It's left to him. But some people, they want to go much higher goal. They want to reach what is this subject-object relationship? Are there really two or really one? What exactly the truth. If he really wants to know the truth, he has to go further in meditation. That's what we can see in Sri Ramakrishna's life itself. He had the vision of Divine Mother Kali, Mother of the Universe. He was very happy. And he had realized God. He had seen all different forms of gods and goddesses in the whole creation. And he could transcend, he could go to any world, any lokas. And he immediately says, there are many lokas are there, not only simply this earth. The creation is infinite. Who can measure how many worlds are there like that? Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. So, everything is infinite. So Sri Ramakrishna realizes all these things, and finally Totapri came and he initiated him into the non-dual state. Hitherto Sri Ramakrishna was having that duality. I am separate, God is separate. Mother is there, I am here, Mother is there, like that. So afterwards, when Totapri taught him in meditation, then he came to know that both he and Mother are one and the same. He alone pervades everywhere. I alone am everywhere. So, feeling that way, experiencing that way is the final goal. So that how many people are ready to have that kind of experience depends upon one's own desire. What he wants, he gets it. But in the dual state, what I mean to say, as long as you keep your mind separate, as long as you keep your relationship separate, there is always some danger. Danger in the sense, you don't know when some impure thought may come to the mind and you may fall down from the ideal. That is possible in the case of duality.